The winter meetings are underway in MLB where all the executives do coke and come up with crazy deals and trades. There's plenty of snow to go around there, so much so that the Toronto executives dropped theirs over Buffalo for a snow game between the Bills and Bengals on Sunday. College championship weekend resulted in Notre Dame in the college football playoffs, and the hilarious part is that nobody is mad about it besides them. Take the hint, Notre Dame. It wouldn't be the college football playoff without controversy, so we'll go over all of that, the winter meetings in MLB, and Week 14 of the NFL with a preview to Week 15. This is number 183 of H&P. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis. So we actually do have some basketball news here, some significant basketball news. LeBron's streak of scoring 10 points, at least 10 points, has ended at 1,297 games. The last time he didn't score 10 points was January 5th, 2007. The way he felt is probably how I felt missing an episode for the first time all year 2 weeks ago. I was devastated. And just like how he's thinking that it's probably time to hang it up, that might be what I'm thinking too. All right, but forget basketball. Let's get into baseball. The winter meetings. Winter meetings started on Monday, but it was reported on Sunday that the Pirates offered a contract to Schwarber, and on Tuesday it was revealed to be for $125 million over 4 years, but he ended up signing back with the Phillies for 5 years and $150 million. Just a little bit less annual average value, though. You cannot say the Pirates didn't try. And that was confirmed by Scott Boras, who hates Bob Nutting because he doesn't pay his players that he represents. So if Scott Boras is saying it, I think I trust it. The Reds offered him 5 years, and the Orioles matched the Phillies, but he chose to go back to Philly, which honestly isn't surprising. The Pirates not offering that 5th year basically guaranteed they weren't getting him. Did we really want that contract on the book for 5 years, though? No, the Pirates truly cannot afford that if they want even a small chance at extending Skeens, as sad as that sounds. It's also reported that Ketel Marte is on the trading block, and the D-backs want pitching that is either major league ready or close to it, but I just found out that he has a no-trade clause, and the Pirates might be one of the 5 teams on that list. They want to trade him, though, because that becomes a full no-trade clause in mid-April of next year. So if you're going to trade him, you better do it now before you can't. So the only player the Pirates have signed so far is Gregory Soto to a 1-year, $8 million deal. But they did need a lefty reliever, and they could have done a lot worse than a 2-time All-Star back there. Now, Jorge Polanco is on their short list right now, and they're apparently going after him, and I do trust that report. But he said that he would like to be somewhere like comfortable and stress-free or some bullshit. So he's likely not going to Pittsburgh. If the Pirates offer more money than other teams and the free agents don't come, then what is the point? Something needs to change, and Nutting's willingness to spend isn't going to change a damn thing. This is a systemic issue, and I don't think it's ever going to change at this rate. And to add to that ever-growing issue, Edwin Diaz signed with the Dodgers for 3 years and $69 million. Bullshit. But today, on Wednesday, we got a surprising deal. The Orioles signed Pete Alonso to a 5-year, $155 million deal. He got $5 million more dollars than Schwarber. But the Orioles had to have had that in the works, because if they offered the same deal that the Phillies did to Schwarber, then they pivoted right to Pete Alonso. But again, I mean, I'm not so mad that the Pirates missed out on this, because another 5-year contract just doesn't make sense in this case. I thought a 3-year deal for Alonso last year was a little bit much. I mean, hell, the Mets didn't even make a formal offer after the bidding started to go places they weren't comfortable with. So I think the biggest story here so far in free agency during the winter meetings is that the Mets are losing so many players. Gregory Soto came from the Mets. They couldn't re-sign Alonso because he was way too expensive. And they weren't able to re-sign Edwin Diaz. I think a cutback on payroll was expected, but not by completely losing the players they were expected to keep. All right, draft lottery reaction. All right, here is our second reaction of the week, but first of the episode. I know it's kind of funny for this one that I'm wearing Patriot stuff. For the college football reaction, I'm wearing Pirate stuff. So for the draft lottery, the Pirates have the 3rd best odds to get the number 1 pick. So number 10 so far is Colorado. Number 9 is the Braves. Number 8 is the A's. Oof. Okay, so Atlanta falls out of the top 6 at number 9, and then the Athletics fell out of the top 6 at number 8. All right, the Orioles landed the number 7 pick, and they were projected 4th. So 4, 5, and 6 all move down to 7, 8, and 9. That sucks for them. So that means that Kansas City, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay are going to move up into the top 6 here. So the White Sox have the highest percentage at 27.7% to get the number 1 pick. The Twins are at 22.2%, and the Pirates are 3rd at 16.8%. The Rays have a 3% chance. The Giants have a 1% chance, and the Royals have a 0.8% chance. So let's hope the Pirates get up there. Numbers 1 or 2 would be awesome, just to move up 1 or 2 spots. Okay, top 6 spots, the most important spots. Number 6 is Kansas City. They had the lowest percentage chance. They get number 6 there. But going from number 16 to number 6 is awesome. Okay, number 5, here we go. The Pirates! Oh, shit! Shit! Oh, that sucks. Moving down from 3 to 5 with a good chance. So Tampa Bay and San Francisco moved above them. Fuck. Dude, that blows. That actually blows. Number 4 goes to San Francisco. Fuck you, San Francisco. Giants went from number 15 to number 4. All right, the number 3 pick is the Minnesota Twins there. I feel like my face is getting red because the Pirates are missing out on so much in this winter meetings. Missing out on Schwarber, missing out on the number 1 pick. They went down 2 spots. Missing out on a whole fuck ton of people, I'm sure, eventually. It just sucks, man. It really just suck. All right, number 2. Number 2 is Tampa Bay. Damn. So that means number 1 is the White Sox, obviously, and they probably deserve it. Whatever. Just another thing to be disappointed by the Pirates. I can't believe they didn't offer Schwarber a 5th year. God damn it. All right, 5th really just feels like a kick in the ass after we were projected for at least 3rd, or we had the 3rd highest odds for the first pick. But we should have been higher than 5, I think. Now, it's nice that the top prospect overall isn't going to be going to Tampa Bay or San Francisco. He's going to end up going to the White Sox, and they're probably going to end up trading him. I mean, probably just like they did Tatis. So there's at least that. I have not looked over the prospect list yet. I don't even know any names. I have no idea. There's one player that's a 65 FV by Fangraphs, but I don't know his name at all. And he's like one of the top rated prospects since Skeens. All right, so college football, conference championship weekend. Let's get into this. On Friday, we had James Madison beating Troy 31-14. Not an impressive win, so I was very worried for them. And then Tulane beat the shit out of North Texas 34-21. That was that seems a lot closer than it actually was. So now on Saturday, first game up was the Big 12 championship, and it was actually a very close game until the third quarter happened. I don't know what in the hell Bear Bachmeier was trying to do. He had 2 extremely bad interceptions, which led to a lot of points for Texas Tech. Texas Tech ended up winning 34-7. They blew out BYU again. The next game up at 4 o'clock for some reason, rather than 3 o'clock. Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs steamrolled Alabama. That was bad. Alabama had -3 rushing yards. Georgia won 28-7. All right, we'll go to the Big Ten championship next. Ohio State against Indiana. Number 1 versus number 2, and it lived up to the hype completely. Indiana won 13-10, but the game would have been tied at 13 if Ohio State hadn't missed a 27-yard field goal. How do you miss a chip shot like that? This is Indiana's first Big Ten title since 1967. Almost 60 years ago. 58 years ago, dude. That's insane. OSU was shut out in the second half completely. Oh, and it is really cool that Mendoza's brother is the backup quarterback for Indiana. You never see that. So, yeah, that was a great game, and it lived up to the hype and everything. But then the last game of the night, the ACC championship, who other than Duke pulled it out and caused some chaos? Yes, Duke, let's go. It wasn't looking good for Virginia early on. Duke was up 14-7 at halftime, but they exchanged field goals in the third quarter, and then Virginia had the touchdown lead on Duke in the fourth quarter, 10-3, which led it to overtime. They were tied at 20, and Duke pulled it out. They marched right down the field, got that touchdown, and then Virginia could not score. Oh, my God. This was the domino that led to so much chaos this weekend for the college football playoff rankings reveal, which I do have a live reaction to. So let's get into that. All right, let's get into these rankings. Number 1 is obviously Indiana. That was definitely an impressive win for them last night against Ohio State. Number 2 is Ohio State. They did not get dropped another spot for losing to Indiana, which is absolutely the right move, I think. Number 3 is Georgia, obviously. Kick the shit out of Alabama. All right, the number 4 should still be Texas Tech. Man, how can you not get a good live stream feed in Texas Tech? Upgrade your internet. All right, number 5, Oregon, right? Yes, number 5 is Oregon. Man, I cannot wait to see who Oregon's playing. It's either going to be JMU, Duke, or Tulane. Jesus. All right, number 6 is Ole Miss. All right, they did not get completely boned. That would have been horrible. And number 7, Texas A&M. So basically nothing has changed outside of Indiana and Ohio State flipping spots. Oh, so A&M has a nice clean feed, but Texas Tech can't get one? What are they bitching about? God damn it. And the last team to get a home game, number 8, Oklahoma. Still, nothing's changed so far. All right, this should be where it gets interesting. Numbers 9 through 12. Okay, number 9, let's go. Oh, man. All right, quit talking. Come on. Let's get through this. Who's going to be playing Oklahoma? Who's going to be number 9? Alabama. Alabama is going to be number 9. All right, good. They did not move down that much for getting blown out in the championship game, which I don't think they should be penalized for that, but that was a poor showing. We're going to get an Alabama-Oklahoma rematch. Let's go. Oklahoma won the first time. No, you should not be overly penalized for losing. What did these guys are like, oh, well, there needs to be stakes both ways if you win or lose the championship game. No, just for getting to the championship game, you should not be overly penalized for it. That makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, who's going to be playing Texas A&M? Miami, number 10, Miami. Oh boy, here we go. They moved ahead of Notre Dame, so Notre Dame is going to get fucked. Notre Dame's not in. Notre Dame's not in. Oh my God. Wow, they got left out because of their week 1 loss to Miami. Oh my God, Notre Dame. Maybe Penn State should have waited for Marcus Freeman. Maybe he'll leave now. Wow. Notre Dame, honestly, they're fucking themselves by not being in a conference. Holy shit. It is weird they're talking about how neither Notre Dame or Miami played this weekend, and Miami somehow moved ahead of Notre Dame. I do get that, but I don't think Miami should have been ranked behind them in the first place. So, all right, so it's probably going to be Tulane against Ole Miss, and then we'll see if they put JMU in over Duke. So there's Tulane going up against Ole Miss. They're ranked 20th, and they get the 11th seed. All right, JMU or Duke? JMU or Duke? Let's see what they do. All right, then JMU will be going to Oregon as the 12th seed, and they're number 24. So that means Duke is either behind them at 25 or just wasn't ranked at all. Wow, JMU. There you go. That's awesome. Confetti flying around the room. Everyone freaking out on tables. That's a good scene there. So then Notre Dame is the first team out. They were ranked number 11. And then the second team out is BYU. Even after getting blown out by Texas Tech. That just goes to show they did not penalize teams at all for losing in the conference championship game. Wow, so these are going to be some good matchups. So first off, we got James Madison going up against Oregon. I think Oregon's going to blow them out. But then we get a rematch between Alabama and Oklahoma. The winner of that game will be playing Indiana. The winner of the Oregon James Madison game will be playing Texas Tech. And then we got, let's see here, Tulane against Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to win that no matter what. And then Ole Miss would be playing Georgia there. And then for Miami and Texas A&M, that might be a better game than people think, especially because Texas A&M just shit the bed against Texas last week. So the winner of that game would then go on to play Ohio State. Ooh, all right. We got some intrigue here. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, those two games, Oregon and James Madison and Ole Miss and Tulane, I don't think it's going to be that close. All right, so after the rankings, it's here on Wednesday. I've had some time to sit down and think about this, and I am totally fine with it. Leaving out Notre Dame makes complete sense because Miami beat them head-to-head week 1. Now, what I don't agree with, and I already said it in the reaction, is not dropping the conference championship losers more than they already were. Now, Ohio State, you probably could have moved them below Georgia, but why do that? So they stayed at number 2. That's totally fine. But then this one I do have a problem with, is that Alabama didn't move down more for getting their shit pushed in by Georgia. Would you move them below Miami or Notre Dame? Probably not, because they did have a really good point. They beat Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Georgia. I'm pretty sure all within like a 3-week span or something crazy like that. So you can't fault them too much, but they did get their asses kicked in the championship game. What's going to happen to them against Oklahoma, one of the only teams that they lost to in the regular season? So, I mean, I really think it should just be the top 3 conference champs that get an auto bid, and then problem solved. The Pac-12 is really the ones that fucked everyone over. Then there would be no JMU. I mean, do you really think that JMU has a shot going into Oregon, into Outson, one of the hardest places to play in the country? No. Or even Tulane against Ole Miss. That's not going to happen. With or without Lane Kiffin, the committee views them as the same team, so I view them as the same team. They're just going to beat the shit out of Tulane. And it is absurd that everyone who took a job is allowed to come back and coach their team in the postseason, except for Lane Kiffin. He's the only one. But Notre Dame is taking this a little bit hard. They declined their bowl invitation. What a bunch of pussies. And then we later found out that they were likely going to be in the Pop-Tart Bowl against BYU. They really deprived us of a Mormons versus Catholics Pop-Tart Bowl where there will be 6 edible mascots. That would be sacrilege to these teams. It would be great to see all the Catholic and Mormons fans' reactions to the sacrificial Pop-Tarts. It's going to be BYU against Georgia Tech. It might be a good game. I don't know. At least there's a lot of points in Georgia Tech games. But next week, we'll go over all of our predictions for round 1 of the college football playoff, because it's not until next Saturday on the 20th, the 19th and 20th. And last little bit of news for college football, Matt Campbell was officially introduced as the PSU head coach, and the terms of his contract are public. 8 years, $70.5 million, and an automatic 1-year extension for every college football playoff made. That is insane job security. You take that 1,000 times out of 1,000. My God, especially if they expand it to 16 teams, it's going to be so easy to get in if you get this team back on track. I do believe in Matt Campbell. His press conference was very good. And Matt Campbell will also not retain Jim Knowles, and he's actually being hired to be Tennessee's next defensive coordinator. Whoa, and a surprise update. My Sharona is fired from Michigan. What? No more My Sharona. My Sharona. Or, sorry, by Sharona. And they fired him for having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. What? My Sharona. What? All right, week 14 of the NFL. Let's go. Cowboys at the Lions. All right, now Dak almost got sacked for a safety. All right, it should be a safety if the ball is touching the white line, just like how it's a touchdown if the ball is touching the white line. It shouldn't have to be fully across the goal line. But at one point, the Lions called a offensive lineman screen. You need to score points. Why are you calling that? He obviously didn't catch it, which was probably better for him. But Gibbs' first quarter touchdown already had him at more fantasy points than he had the previous week against the Packers. And is this really the Cowboys team doctor? All right, come on now. Rub a little dirt and then get back out there. Come on. He almost looks like an auctioneer. 75, one, sold. But the Cowboys were almost coming back. It was 30-27 when I went to sleep with 9 minutes and 52 seconds left. It was a high-scoring game, and the over just hit there. It was 55.5. And then I woke up to the final score being 44-30 on 3 Gibbs touchdowns. What? The Lions, did win 44-30. Kept their playoff hopes alive. Cowboys kind of sliding back a little bit at 6-1. All right, the Bengals at the Bills. This was, I think, the game of the week. This was an insane game, and also, as an added benefit, it was a snow game. But T. Higgins was going off. He had so many great catches and so many concussions. I'm pretty sure he had like 3 or 4 concussions in this game alone. Can you get a concussion on top of a concussion, or is it just one concussion compounding on itself. I think that's probably it, but yeah, he went down a hard like 4 times right on the back of his head. Here, James Cook nearly fumbled out of the end zone, but he was actually out at the 1 and the play was called back on a penalty. Then he fumbled before he crossed the goal line, and the Bengals fell on the ball in the end zone. He had to be kicking himself. How did you do that? You may as well have fumbled twice on the same play. How embarrassing would that be, huh? But let me bring this up here because Burrow threw a touchdown to Gesicki to make it 28-18 with 8:44 left. Then, next drive, Josh Allen, 40-yard touchdown. Nobody was watching him. Next drive, 4 plays. Burrow tried to throw a screen over a defender, but he threw it so lightly that the defender was able to time it up, go up, and grab it right out of the air and go all the way to the end zone for a pick 6. Then, after the kickoff, on the very next play, Burrow, another interception. Then the next drive, 5 plays, James Cook touchdown. And at that point, it was 39-28 Bills. It went from 28-18 to 28-25 to 28-32 to 28-39, all in the span of 4 minutes and 54 seconds. From 28-18 to 28-39 in 4 minutes and 54 seconds. That is insane. And then everyone thought the game was over, but then on the next drive, 4 plays later, Bengals touchdown again to T. Higgins. That made it 34-39. But then the end of the game, Josh Allen was sacked, and it made it 3rd and 15. But then on the next play, again, nobody was watching Josh Allen, and he ran for the first down. 39-34 final. What a game. All right, Dolphins-Jets was up next, and I hate the Jets rivalries uniforms. That is the ugliest, like, brownish green I've ever seen. That was disgusting. And then they were down 21-7. And they had to turn to Brady Cook after Tyrod Taylor's quad injury, and he fumbled his first snap. How much worse can it get for the Jets? Dolphins ended up winning 34-10. Steelers-Ravens, Pittsburgh was kind of bringing it early on with DK and Rodgers. They were working the Ravens defense. And then what the hell was the Ravens offense doing? Lamar is not having a good year at all, and he just floated one up directly to the Steelers defender. Derrick Henry is also so bad this year, man. This is one of the only Ravens games that I've sat down and watched since week 1 against the Bills. I don't think I realized that they looked this bad. I mean, Jaylen Warren just walked into the end zone completely untouched. And now I'm kind of starting to feel bad for Isaiah Likely, because over the past 2 years, he's gotten screwed over so much on these, is it a touchdown, is it not a touchdown, like with his toe being out of bounds against the Chiefs in the opener last year, him fumbling out of the end zone against the Bengals on Thanksgiving, and now this touchdown was called back because the ref said that Likely did not complete the process of the catch. I thought he took that 3rd step, but he did not take the 3rd step, and he also didn't pull the ball back into his body, so I do agree that that is not a touchdown. Now, the Ravens still had a chance with 1:56 left, and they got close, but the Steelers sacked Lamar to end the game, and they won 27-22 for the lead in the AFC North. They're up 7-6, and the Ravens are 6-7. Titans-Browns, Cam Ward was 4 for 4 with a touchdown pass in the opening drive, but nobody is talking about it, even though they won the game, because Sanders kind of cooked. 364 passing yards, 29 rush yards, and 4 total touchdowns. Yeah, Sanders. Just try to win the game next time, maybe? No, I'm just harping on him for no reason. Certified Shador hater. But, I mean, nobody is talking about the Titans. Not a single soul. And they won the game 31-29. Myles Garrett only got 1 sack in the game, so he's at 20. He definitely should get it. He only needs 3 more to break the record. All right, Colts to Jaguars. Well, can the Colts stop the slide? Not if Daniel Jones ain't got no legs. Oh, my God. He was out with a non-contact injury where he was slamming his helmet on the turf, so he knew immediately that it was bad. This was his right leg, though, and not his left leg, which is the one that's fractured. So his right leg was doing a little bit more heavy lifting, and it was confirmed to be a torn Achilles on Monday. And this basically looked like the Riley Leonard show going forward after Sunday because Anthony Richardson is still on IR with a fractured orbital, and apparently a reporter said that it's very bad. So who knows? I don't. Is he even going to be okay? I don't know if he's going to play again. But we got news on Monday that the Colts were bringing in Phillip Rivers, and he worked out for them on Monday night. And he signed with them officially today to their practice squad on Wednesday. He is 44 years old and has not played football since 2020 in the COVID playoffs against the Bills. This is the same system that he played in when he was there in 2020, so he does have a high chance to start on Sunday with Riley Leonard having a PCL strain. But the Jaguars are now in first place with that win. They won 36-19. All right, Saints and Buccaneers. God damn it. Egbuka has been doing absolutely nothing, especially since Godwin's been back. And now Mike Evans is going to be questionable for the game, and so is Jalen McMillan. So he is going to be shut out completely if he doesn't start getting his shit together and start catching some touchdowns, which he might against the Falcons. He had that great first game against them, and he caught the game winner. But my God, he did not do anything in this game against the Saints. It was raining pretty bad, but it was also raining a lot in Jacksonville. They had plenty of offense. I mean, hell, Brian Thomas even got 3 catches for 80-some yards. That was nice. But Devin Neal from Kansas was having himself a day, and Tyler Shuck finished off the game-winning drive with a nice touchdown run to put the Saints up 24-17. He got out of the near sack and had a very nice run to the end zone. The Saints pulled off the upset 24-20. We had a battle between Kirk Cousins and the man that replaced him. That was then replaced in Minnesota, Sam Darnold. And goddamn, was it a suckfest early on from both of them. But the Seahawks pulled away. They won 37-9. I mean, it was 6-6 at halftime. Darnold ended up finishing 20 for 30 with 249 yards and 3 touchdowns. So not horrible. He also had 1 interception. Cousins, though, was bad. He was 15 for 30 with 162 yards and 2 interceptions. No touchdowns. Our Commanders-Vikings. The Commanders couldn't do anything, even with Jaden Daniels back, and they actually ended up taking him out of the game because he fell on his elbow kind of hard. And that was definitely J.J. McCarthy's best game. He was 16 for 23 with 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Commanders got shut out 31-0. Bears at the Packers. 16 degrees with a real feel of 6. Wow, that's freezing. There was not a lot of offense in this one because of that pretty early. It was looking rough for the Bears when they were down 14-3, but a Loveland touchdown tied it up at 21 about halfway through the fourth quarter. On that Loveland touchdown, it took them 17 plays to get 83 yards, and it took 8 minutes and 32 seconds off the clock. Unfortunately for them, all that effort was for naught because Green Bay came right down the field, 8 plays, 65 yards, ended on a Josh Jacobs 2-yard touchdown. They were up 28-21 at that point, and then, god damn it, Caleb Williams got greedy on 4th and 1 and tried to throw the ball over a defender into the end zone when he just needed the first down and there was someone wide open for it. There were 27 seconds left at that point and they had 2 timeouts. Plenty of time, Caleb. What are you doing? That ended up being the final score, 28-21 Packers. And now the Packers are the 2nd seed in the NFC, and the Bears moved all the way down to 5th, I believe. Or no, 7th. Sorry, because San Francisco and Seattle are ahead of them. Wow, that NFC West is insane. Speaking of the NFC West, we had the top against the bottom. The Rams blew out the Cardinals 45-17. It was 10-10 at one point, but then the Rams scored 35 straight points until the Cardinals scored with 11 minutes left in the fourth. Broncos Raiders. All right, what is up with this Broncos defense? They haven't been able to stop shit since week 11. They only won 24-17, but now they own the number 1 seed thanks to a tiebreaker between common opponents by beating the Raiders, which the Patriots could not do in week 1. So yeah, which loss hurts more? The Raiders loss hurts more now. I still don't trust that Broncos team though. I don't know. Like I said, their defense hasn't been that great ever since Surtain has come back. It has not been that great. But yeah, I don't know what's up with them. In their offense, I don't trust Bo Nix for shit. It would have been 17-17 without that punt return touchdown. Who knows what would have happened after that point. All right, Sunday Night Football, Texans at the Chiefs. The Texans defense is the real deal. They got the ball right back after the Woody Marks touchdown on a Mahomes interception. Then Butker doinked it before halftime, and Houston ended up winning 20-10, and Mahomes threw 3 interceptions. For the first time in 10 years, the Chiefs will not win the division, and they are at risk of missing the playoffs for the first time under Mahomes. But the Texans are another team that has a great defense, but an otherwise sketchy offense. I don't trust Bo Nix or CJ Stroud. All right, and then Monday Night Football. This was the ass game of the year. This is one of the worst games I have ever watched. Does no one want to hold on to the ball in this game? The Chargers intercepted Hurts, fumbled, Hurts picked it up and then fumbled himself, and the Chargers got the ball. Then in the second quarter, the Eagles threw an interception, and then on the next play, Herbert fumbled the ball. What in the hell was going on? Hurts is the first player to ever have 2 turnovers on the same play. Ever! And then, of course, the ass game of the year went to overtime, where Hurts threw his 4th interception of the game to seal the 22-19 win for the Chargers. 5 turnovers from Hurts. That was bad. And to ruin Saquon's first 100-yard game in God knows how long, just the second time that Saquon has ran for over 100 yards. I mean, just watching this game, I cannot believe the Chargers are 9-4 and the Eagles are 8-5. These teams were playing like bottom of the barrel teams. All right, but that's it for week 14. Let's go over week 15 here. Thursday night game is the Falcons at the Buccaneers. So, Egbuka, please do something. Literally do anything. Go off and get to over 1,000 yards on the season. That's 194 yards. Do it. It's fantasy playoff time. All right, big game, and this is for the AFC East. If the Patriots win, they win the division. They probably will win the division anyway, but this is just another step to get there. Actually doing the damn thing and winning it. But I think this Bills matchup is going to be a little bit more difficult than last time. I feel like the Pats weren't taken seriously by the Bills in the first game, and Allen just had one of the best games of the season against the Bengals. Now, Mike Vrabel is 6-1 coming out of the bye week. Let's hope that continues. And Josh Allen has also not had back-to-back monster games yet this season. So, I hope that everything goes well. Browns-Bears, let's see if Shadur can keep it up against the Bears. Ravens-Bengals, maybe the Bengals will sweep the Ravens in their series. That would be hilarious, and it would be awesome to have the Ravens going into a losing streak before the Patriots game. All right, Chargers-Chiefs, Commanders-Giants, Raiders-Eagles, Jets-Jaguars, Cardinals-Texans, Packers-Broncos. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. And then Lions-Rams as well at 425. Oh, man, what game to watch. Those are 2 insane games with a lot of playoff implications. Packers, please beat the Broncos. I would love you forever. Unless it's a Patriots-Packers Super Bowl, which in that case, sorry. A lot of 425 games. Panthers, Saints, Titans, 49ers, Colts, Seahawks, and then Sunday night, Vikings, Cowboys. What? You have all those great games? Well, those 2 great games, and you have this bullshit on Sunday night? Come on. And then Dolphins, Steelers round out the week on Monday night. Oh, and Tonga and Jared Wilson are full participants at practice on Wednesday, along with Brendan Schooler. Let's go. Those are 3 huge additions for him. All right, let's go to Twitter. Let's see if anything has happened in the winter meetings. The Rule 5 draft was today, so nothing has been going on outside of Alonzo. All right, so nothing has happened at the winter meetings. I guess they're over, actually. I didn't realize they ended after the Rule 5 draft. But we do have a little bit of news regarding the NFL draft. The picks in the first round will go from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. Let's go. Hopefully we won't be there all night long. They said the average ending time for the draft was 11:45, which is absolutely ridiculous. Get it over by 11. But all right, that's it for this week. Make sure to leave a like and comment on each video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hoagies and Pierogis is available on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram for clips throughout the week. And thank you very much. We'll leave you with this. Munch. Recorded in central Pennsylvania in front of a live studio audience with your host Ian DiCarlo. This is Hoagies and Pierogis.